There we go. It is working. Welcome. All right. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be joined today with Brenda Feuerstein. She is, well, take a moment to introduce her. She's the founder director of Traditional Yoga Studies. She is the course developer and tutor for their distance learning program, and she's the director of the Georg Feuerstein's Memorial Fund. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that Memorial Fund? I can't even talk. Memorial Fund, Brenda.
Hi, Laura. It's great to be here today. The Georg Feuerstein Memorial Fund was started just shortly before Georg passed away in August of 2012. And Georg and I both realized that we wanted to do something in Georg's honor to carry that through after he was gone. And we decided that it really resonated with incarceration programs and trying to bring some inner freedom to people that may never see freedom outside those walls. So we decided that we were going to offer our distance learning courses free of charge and also our transformational courses free of charge to inmates worldwide. And currently we have about 20 inmates in the program, which we just started this year. So we're really excited about what 2014 will bring in terms of that incarceration program. The other aspect of the fund is to offer workshops and programs for inner city kids, youth that are underprivileged, to teach them how to live positively in communities, how to love, how to have relationships, and how to have healthy families. Statistics are showing that a lot of these kids end up in jail, mainly because they feel that life behind the walls will offer them love. So for us, it was a really sad realization, and we decided we needed to coach. So that's the basis of the program at this point, and we're looking at other programs as well.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds amazing. Well, yeah, Brenda, go ahead.
We're pretty excited about the program.
Oh, I'm sure you are. It's such a wonderful group of people to work with, especially the children, for sure, right? Well, we're here to talk about your home practice, Brenda. So I'd love to first start with, why do you practice yoga?
Why do I practice yoga? Well, I started practicing when I was really young. I think the first time I started practicing was when I was preschool. So at that time, it seemed like the thing to do, right? I was on the television every morning, and I would just start listening. And of course, as I got older, it became quite a routine in my life, and I just continued. Now I can't imagine life without practicing. It's, for me, it's just a joy to be able to practice on a daily basis.
That's wonderful. What is your current practice like?
My current practice is very simple. On Facebook a few weeks ago, I talked about my practice being about MAPS, M-A-P-S. So my asana practice is simple, but it's also very spontaneous. So when I approach the mat every day, I never know what it's going to be like. I really approach the mat as though it's my day. And when I stand on the mat or sit on the mat to begin with, everything unfolds from there, but I can be guaranteed it's very quiet and it's very simple.
I love.
Usually long. It's usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours long. That's just the way my day goes. So fortunate in that way.
You have the space for that, which is lovely. I saw the maps on Facebook, as you know. It was one of the things that I thought I need to talk to Brenda about the program that we're doing here, the 31 Days of Yoga, because I love it. It's MAP stands for My Asana Practice is Simple. Yes, right? Oh, I love that, because so many people feel like it needs to be this really intricate thing, and it's just getting to the mat and doing what feels good for you in your body in that moment. That's beautiful. Has your practice changed over the years? Because now you've been practicing for decades. We don't need to count how many. But if you started in preschool, that was a long time ago. And can you reflect on how your practice has changed over the years?
My practice has changed in a way that it's become a lot calmer. years ago, when I was in my 20s, it was a much stronger practice. And I suspect that's what I needed at that time. That as I started to get into my 40s, I realized that my body and my mind needed a quieter practice. And one that was just simpler, where I didn't feel like I had to go into intricate poses or advanced poses. So it became a lot easier on myself, I think, for years, and realized I don't have to have so many expectations or any expectations of myself when I go into the mirror.
That's beautiful. What is your current challenge right now? What is your greatest challenge?
My current challenge would be when I'm on the road, it's really hard to find quiet space.
Mm-hmm.
My practice is very quiet. I don't practice with music. It's a very inward practice. And so sometimes the places where I'm at, where I'm staying, or where I'm teaching, are not that quiet. So it's difficult sometimes to find that quiet spot. Sometimes that's just tucked away in somebody's bedroom or in the bathroom somewhere, right? And it's perfectly fine. I'm pretty flexible that way. The other challenge that I have is I only teach in my community. I teach 2 days a week, but they're really long days. So I teach from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 5 o'clock at night. If I don't get my practice in the morning, it's really difficult to get it at that 10 o'clock. So ensuring that I have a practice done early in the morning on my teaching days, sometimes a challenge for me.
Mm-hmm. When do you normally practice during the day? When's your favorite time?
My favorite time is about 4:30 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah. I'm an early riser. I do my yoga nidra practice in the evening, but in the morning I do my asana practice.
Uh-huh. And you're up in Canada, so 4:30 in the morning is pretty dark.
I am. I'm in southern Saskatchewan, and 4:30 this time of the year is very dark, and not too cold yet, but I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm. Well, what suggestion would you give to someone who's just starting a home practice, and they may be a beginner student, or they may be more advanced, and they've only done their yoga at a studio, and now they want to start at home? What would you suggest for them?
It's simple, and make your practice thoughtful, inward, and to be present for yourself in that really simple way. So that when you get to the mat every day, or every second day, or every third day, that it's not about how much you can do. So that's wrong. Kind of, when I approach the mat now, the first thing I say is, I'm home. And I really recommend that beginners look at that mat as coming home to yourself, because sometimes that's the only quiet time they have, or only time for themselves that they have. And so that may actually just transpire as 15 minutes in Shavasana.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, right? So that's usually my recommendation to beginners or people who are just starting an at-home practice. Because at-home practice is so much different than going to the studio. You know, as we all know, when you're in a studio, you're directed. When you're at home, you have to self-direct. And sometimes we have motivation and we hard on ourselves. So I encourage people to just go to the mat and say, I'm at home. It's my home now, and I've arrived. And whatever transpires after that is perfectly okay. I think that many people, when they hit the mat, think they have to do so much, and really be pretty simple.
Maps.
Maps. M-A-P-S. I'm actually writing a book on that.
Well, Brenda, thank you so much for joining us. Can you let us know what you're working on right now?
Sure. Currently I'm working on about 7 book projects, so it's a pretty intense time for me with writing. I'm working on a couple of translations, and I won't divulge the translations that I'm working on, but I am working on.
We just have to wait.
You have to wait for those translations. I'm also working on a death and dying project, which will translate to a novel called Dying in Love. And it's going to be on where I talk very loosely about relationships. What we both learned, we both people are issues. Some might be a little understood, scholar and academic, and we're looking at two different transformational courses that will be offered through traditional yoga studies. And I'm doing a couple of collaborations with some scholars on some other courses and books. So those are some projects that I'm really looking forward to in 2014.
That sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to all of it coming out as well. Brenda, thank you so much for joining me. I am so grateful to have spent this time with you and been able to glean some of your wisdom.